Lunchbox TV reviews of Loki Season 1, Episode 2, The Variant. I am Alex, and I am joined by Lou.
Hello.
And Michelle.
Hello.
And I assure you, none of us are variants, as far as we know.
Unless my image is flipped.
Yeah, well, you could be the one variant. So, we're going to talk about this last episode, which was pretty dialogue heavy, but the dialogue was performed by Owen Wilson and Tom Hiddleston. So it was top-notch acting by the two of them with just great characters as good as Marvel can create. And let's talk about thoughts. Just our initial thoughts. What did everyone think?
I mean, I liked it. I'm happy to say that I feel just as good about this episode as I did about the previous episode. I was a little bit nervous because I felt like last episode started so strongly for me personally. I really, really enjoyed it. And I still enjoyed this one just as much. I like getting more reveals. It feels like we're quickly getting some things shown to us that are moving the plot along, but not in a way that I'm like, what else is left? There's still a lot of mysteries and a lot of things to understand. And I'm really excited about that. So I liked it a lot.
I'm really loving Loki right now. Before, I think the last episode of Falcon and Winter Soldier, we were talking about which did you like better between the Falcon and Winter Soldier or WandaVision. Right now, 2 episodes in, and Loki is already my top MCU show. For me, this episode had everything: heavy dialogue, some action. We got a reveal. I mean, the other shows had the reveal really late in the episode. This one, second episode, we had a reveal, and I can't wait for what else is going to be revealed throughout the show. So yeah, I'm really loving Loki right now.
Awesome. Yeah. This episode, like I said, a lot of talking heads, and to me, I just find it so interesting. Just Loki and Mobius trying to outmaneuver each other, and they're so charismatic and just so clever that I can't look away. It's just brilliant. I watched the majority of the episode. I thought, hey, there has been no action yet, and I don't need any action because it's been so good. Barely any action, just a few set pieces. But I was just I don't need it. It's revealing so much, and just the cosmic stuff off the charts. Awesome, love it. So let's get started. The episode begins at a medieval Renaissance fair in 1985, and that could be a big number for Marvel readers out there because there was a comic series called 1985 in which a boy in the real world witnesses Marvel characters infiltrating the real world. So it was kind of a strange choice that they decided on this year for the opening. And at this Renaissance fair, the TVA have sent agents in for a variant disruption. It turns out that the variant, which is a Loki variant, has been mucking about, and the variant, I don't know what the word is. I guess it's either hypnotized or infect or something, or just mind controls.
Possesses.
Possesses is a good one. Possesses the various agents to attack the other ones and killing them all. No, except for one. One was captured and kidnapped, and that's a big opening piece. And it was all set to the tune of "We Need a Hero," the 80s classic. I forgot what movie it was from. What was it from?
It's in a lot of movies.
Yeah, it has been in a lot of movies. Most
recently in the He-Man trailer.
That's right. Yeah.
I still think of GTA when I hear that song because that was one of the songs on the radio.
Well, I mean, this scene was full of a lot of stuff. What did you guys think of this opening?
I liked it. This is a completely a me problem. I saw the Minuteman character played by Sasha Lane, the character that got stolen, and I was like, why do I know who she is? Is she from a Marvel thing? So I was tripping out, being is this a character? Who is it? It's not at all. She's from Hellboy. So there's that. She's from Hellboy.
Wait,
The new one.
The David Harbour one.
Yeah, she's from the new Hellboy,
Okay.
and she's also from Utopia, which is an Amazon Prime show that I'm currently watching.
Oh,
So
I
I
like
was
that
like,
show.
why do I know who she is? So that's just me, but I really liked it. The music was such a good choice. Because otherwise it honestly would have been like a little creepy of a moment, a little bit like sinister feeling. And that really brought levity to a fight scene. Like the variant was killing those people, but it felt lighter. It felt more Marvel than like straight up murdering people in a tent. So I really like that.
I'm again pretty much agreeing with what Michelle is saying, except for the song. For some reason, I did not like that song for that scene, which is funny because I love it when random songs with like from the 80s or one hit wonders and they added to the action. But for me, this didn't do it for me. So this was probably like the my least favorite part of the episode was just that one scene. But yeah, I like that we got to see a little bit of the variant and how she used her powers. I guess call her she now. We're in spoiler territory.
How they? We don't know
Spoilers.
God
yet.
damn it. Loki's
It's okay.
fluid, so we don't know. But yeah, other than I don't think that was the right song for that scene. I pretty much like the scene.
I should say right now, definite spoiler warning because I forgot to mention it earlier. But yeah, this is spoiler area, and yeah, I enjoyed the scene. I kind of feel you on that, Lou, with the song. It was kind of ham-fisted and like it's like, yeah, we get it. We do need a hero, but we got Loki, right?
And usually they're pretty good with those kind of songs, right? Where they put it.
Yeah.
But for like.
It could have been a little better, but it was set in the 80s though, so it kind of made sense, right? Michelle, you feel like you wanted to say?
Yeah, no, I actually have something to say about that because I interpreted the song a little bit differently than you guys did. I interpreted it as the song choice of that variant, and the variant sees themselves as a hero. I don't know why that was my interpretation, but I feel like maybe that makes it a little bit better. I don't know. That's what I thought it was. Like they're like, I'm gonna save everybody by killing people and doing my plan, but like my overall plan is to be a hero in some capacity. I don't know why that's my interpretation, but that was what I got from the song, which is why I really liked it. And like I just like the song in general.
Well, I mean, this opening accomplished what it needed to. Like, it set up the mystery and like the action where all the protagonists are headed towards, right? Giving them the motivation they need, which leads us to Loki at the TVA. Fully, I guess he's a member now because he's studying. Miss Minutes is like tutoring him, which is really funny because she's like this little hologram of a clock, which Loki's just trying to stab and kill. She just takes off. Loki, I guess he's. Did you guys really think he was studying, or he was just lying? Like, does he know? Is he smart and smartened up to everything, or is he just like, yeah, I know, I read it? What do you think?
To me, Loki's always scheming. So it doesn't matter if he's scheming for good, he's scheming for bad, or he's just scheming for Loki. But definitely scheming. He knew what he was doing.
Yeah. At the very least, he skimmed the material so that he knows, because he definitely has, like, we see it later on, but he definitely has a curiosity about the TVA and like wanting to know more. So I wouldn't imagine he would completely not read all the materials, because maybe there's information in there that he wants. But he's never going to be like, no, I actually did the homework. He would never admit it that he actually did the work. So I think he read more than he let on, for sure.
Yeah. It did seem like he just studied what he wanted to, like what's relevant to him, because he wants to find out more about the Timekeepers. But before we get to anything about the Timekeepers, Loki and members of the TVA, along with Mobius, they go to investigate the tent where the Loki variant killed and stole the little bomb capsule that's supposed to, like, what's it called? What it's called?
I know it resets time, but I can't.
I
don't know what it's called. Is it time reset? Time bomb?
If it's Animal Crossing, Resetti.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. So the Loki variant steals one of those. but stolen agent this time, a Minuteman. And while they're in there, Loki warns them, like, if you step outside this tent, there's a trap for you. And he goes into this big spiel about on Asgard, et cetera, about wolf's teeth and wolf's ears. All Loki wanted to do was just exit and, apparently take off. I guess that was part of his ploy. But Mobius saw right through him. Can't outsmart him, at least not yet. And so Mobius reins him in, and they go back. And yeah, that was the first big, like, head-to-head confrontation between Mobius and Loki. I found pretty interesting because, like, usually Loki comes out on top on these schemes because everyone he deals with is just so dumb. But yeah, how do you feel about that?
Well, there's a scene that's kind of like plays into this that I really liked. It's a little later on, but I think it kind of explains this situation. When Loki's saying, "Oh, I'm not going to stab you in the back. I don't do that." And Mobius is like, "I've literally seen you stab like 50 people in the back. Like, you do that." So it's just a reminder to us that Mobius has studied Loki like a lot. So he's not going to fall for these schemes because he's seen it in every timeline of Loki doing things. Mobius has seen it at this point. So I really like that because it kind of answers why Loki's able to, trick everybody else, and Mobius is really not having it because he, like, more than Loki, he knows how Loki works and how he ticks. So I really like that kind of the banter between them and the back and forth. I really adore.
Yeah, I love that this is the start of them sort of sizing up each other. Kind of, Loki's trying to test Mobius, and Mobius is trying to just kind of, from what he's learned from just studying Loki. So they're just like playing 4D chess basically, and let's see. It's a constant thing between throughout the episode, and I love it. So far, this is my favorite buddy combo. It surpassed Sam and Bucky.
The buddies.
Your buddies.
Yeah, this is an interesting one. Like, this combination of people, and you can see Loki's influence because Mobius walks away, like, kind of questioning and arguing the authorities at the TVA, which brings me to the next scene. Mobius talking to Ravonna Renslayer, who's like one of the heads, not quite the head, because the head is the trinity of the Time Lords, but Ravonna is trying to talk him out of putting too much faith into Loki because of his nature. But yeah, Mobius takes a stand. He firmly believes in that he can use Loki to his advantage to catch this variant. And I'm gonna throw this out there. This was like the scene where, like, it kind of clicked in my head that, hey, I don't think that there are Time Lords.
Thank you. I was just thinking that.
Yeah. Because when they were talking about it, it's like, oh, they've got an eye on this one. Oh, they're coming down this one. It's like, wait a second. This sounds like there's like someone behind the curtain there, just like pulling the strings,
Wizard of Oz. It's Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, exactly. Wizard of Oz. Just one person, and we mentioned him last week, like who I think it might be, and that's Kang, because he is like the Time Master. And he's set to appear in Quantumania. I'm still all about Kang, but my theory is that there are no Time Lords. That's what I'm thinking right now. That's what it seems like. But the scene was cool. Just to see them butt heads as well. How about you? Did you take away the same thing I did?
Yes, absolutely, exactly what you're thinking. Except I'm gonna add to your theory in that Renslayer and Kang in the comics have a relationship. So everything Alex said, and then just add in that Renslayer and Kang in the comics have a relationship, and we already have an interview with Jonathan Majors kind of flatly denying that he's going to be in the series, but they all lie. So
yeah. I don't buy it either.
I don't buy what you're saying.
So here's my theory related to that as someone who doesn't know the comics, so therefore wouldn't have like that type of insight.
The insight.
Yeah. So the whole conversation of like, oh, what are the timekeepers like? What do they do when it's over? Like, and that kind of back and forth of like dancing around the answer led me to this is the reference, the movie Wanted. If anyone knows that one, about the assassins and the quilt that tells you who dies, and the fact that like they don't even know how the quilt works, and it's just like this whole trip. So that made me think, wait, what if like there's just straight up no timekeepers and no one's in charge? It's just chaos. It's actual chaos. There's nobody truly in charge, and that's it. Like it's just they're getting these messages from that was what I thought. I was like, I don't think, because no one, maybe because like that weird back and forth of like, can you meet the timekeepers, can you not meet them? I'm like, so they don't actually exist at all, and like maybe it's not even a figurehead that they know. Like they think the messages are coming from the timekeepers and they're coming from somebody else or something else, and they don't even know who it's coming from, but they just assume like
Mobius himself hasn't even met them yet.
yeah,
Yeah,
I think it's could be something like that, where it's just, and at this point maybe that's where it plays into like whatever you guys are thinking. It could be this other person, but like they don't even know it's that other person. They all think it's actually the timekeepers, but they don't exist. So
I mean, like the interesting thing is that Loki is the one kind of opening Mobius's eyes as to like asking these questions about the timekeepers, because like everybody at the TVA is just like eyes closed, accept everything. Don't even ask about fish. Like, hey, why don't we get some fish
or
in
jet
here?
skis or jet
right?
skis.
Jet skis, right?
Mobius, in
no
case
water.
you're gonna go for a vacation to the water at the end of this. That's my prediction. He's gonna go fishing and go on a jet ski.
Yes. Yeah, this series has to end with that, with some jet skiing. And now let's talk about the detective work Loki does. Although he has like a limited number of files that he can look at, because they're keeping him in the dark about quite a few things. So this scene is interesting because it reminded me of the movie Seven by David Fincher. And when I looked into it, the director, Kate Herron, she said that, spoke about the influence of this movie on the show. And it can be noted in this scene where while when Loki approaches the help desk, the librarian is listening to Johann Sebastian Bach's Orchestral Suite No. 3 in D major. And that was also played in the movie Seven when they were doing their detective work as well. So yeah, that's a little Easter egg for those, because like I was watching, I'm like, this is so familiar, just the whole library thing. And then that music started playing. I'm like, wait a second, this is when Morgan Freeman starts reading about Dante's Inferno, and that's it sort of mirrors Loki learning about apocalypses, and he comes to the realization that because an apocalypse just wipes out whatever is in the vicinity, a variant can do whatever they want and that time, and it will not impact the timeline, because there's no branches. They would not influence anything. So Loki explains this to Mobius by absolutely destroying his salad and
taking Casey's drink.
Yeah, yes, taking Casey's drink, and the light bulb goes off in Loki's head. Was this interesting to you guys as it was to me? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay, good.
I mean, I thought that was awesome. I was really excited that I thought that was a cool realization, and the potential for different scenes was really cool, and I was excited about that. And then kind of leading into what happens next, like they do the experiment in Pompeii. I really want to see more of that type of like hijinks, of just like pre-apocalypse hijinks. I don't know. So I'm hopeful, like now that people are, I don't want to spoil it but it's spoiler zone. Like now that Loki's with the other variant, I'm wondering if they're going to hop into other apocalypse times, and I'm excited to see that, because I just think that's a really cool like visual and just a cool concept, and I want to see that explored more. But I loved it. I thought that was really fun.
I agree with you guys, and just to add to that, it shows you how Loki's mind kind of works, where it's always he's scheming in something. There's a plan A, a plan B, a plan C. So he's constantly just trying to find ways to get what he wants or achieve whatever he wants to achieve.
Yeah. Which takes us to Pompeii, the Pompeii scene in question, with the volcano, Mount Vesuvius, is about to blow, and it does blow. Loki goes crazy, talks to everyone in a language, like whatever language it was back then. I don't know if it's Italian or some form of Italian. Possibly. I don't know what it is. Pompeianese, perhaps. But it was funny that Loki knew the language. Started yelling, telling everyone they're from the future. But there were no changes to the timeline. So the theory checks out, and you have the cool scene with Loki standing there with a smile and just a volcanic ash rushing towards them. Really neat visual. That was, to me, that was cool. How about you guys?
Absolutely.
Yeah, same thing. Yeah. It was just put a stop on that one then. All right.
Yep.
Approval. Triple approval. So with that in mind, Loki and Mobius, they do some research as to where which apocalypse this variant could be hiding in. And Mobius gets the idea to cross-reference the what do they call it? The gum that
Kablooey.
Kablooey. Yeah, Kablooey. But that's called something. That's called not a variation, but it's like I forgot the name. It's killing me. Like something that doesn't belong. Yeah.
Anomaly.
I don't.
Anomaly. I think it was something else. But yeah, it's basically the anomaly of that time. And cross references the Kablooey gum with an apocalypse during the time, and Loki figures out that it's Oklahoma, where Roxxon is basically has this shelter going on for this huge hurricane that's about to hit and wipe the place off the map, kill a bunch of people in 2051. So there's a couple of interesting things about this. Number one, Roxxon. I think this is like the first time they're mentioned in Marvel Studios. Am I right?
We did. I can't remember which Iron Man it was, but one of the Iron Man 3 in the pier, one of the boats had the logo. I remember. That's where I remember it from. But other than that, that's all. That's the only place I've seen it.
There we go. So in the comics, Roxxon, very evil company. They do a lot of shady stuff, and they've dabbled in Asgardian the realms. So they have their hands deep in that, and the head of the company is a Minotaur. Be prepared for that if they go that far. I don't know quite yet. And Oklahoma, the other major point of reference in Thor lore and Asgardian lore from the comics, is that Oklahoma was the site where, after Ragnarok happened in the comics, Thor came back to life and resurrected his fellow gods in Oklahoma. He just raised this piece of land into the air, and that was just New Asgard, and it happened in Oklahoma. I believe in the same city in Oklahoma that it was in. I forgot the city's name. It is in my notes. Starts with a B. Damn it. Okay. Anyways, it's in Oklahoma. So in Oklahoma. So Loki takes the team there, and there's a lot that happens. A lot of action. Loki does not partner with Mobius, which was not of his doing. The team leader, I forgot her name. She steps in and says,
I think.
Yeah. I think you're right. Hunter B-15. Yeah. Played by Wumi Mosaku, who's awesome. She messed everything up, because I think like Mobius had a firm grasp on Loki and the variant. So what happened is that they're in the supermarket owned by Roxxon, and B-15 and Loki, they bump into the variant, who just transfers into different bodies. Transferred from an employee into B-15 into.
It transferred from a customer to B-15 to an employee. So the customer was
Well,
the dude buying
yeah.
plants, then
Yeah,
B15,
you're
and
right,
then
you're right, yeah.
Randy
Okay.
is the employee.
That's right. And then after the employee is this really big dude who just started kicking Loki around.
Yeah.
That's right. And so while that's happening, Mobius and his team, they're just looking at at some other things. I don't really think they encounter anything, but the major point is that the variant is priming these erasers, these time eraser things. And you think that the variant is going to let it blow in this location to kill the TVA, all these Minutemen, but it's not. The variant's plan is to send them all into different timelines, but we will get to that. Up to that point, before the variant reveal, all that action, all that suspense, were you guys on the edge of your seats like I was?
I love that scene. It was this was my favorite scene of the series.
Yeah.
Was just seeing what the variant was up to, the way she was just planting the bombs and setting up. And this is when I think but then they identified her as a variant, right? I'm like thinking she's not a variant because of I know that. Oh, actually, we'll talk about that later because we're gonna talk about the variant later. But yeah, I really love this scene, and one of the things that I was kind of just moving my eyes around throughout the whole scene, because this is like 2050, I think. So we're just looking at everything that was there, what they were selling, what. Yeah, love this scene.
Yeah, I thought there's a couple things I loved about the scene. I loved when B15 was like possessed, whatever, by the variant, because you could tell, like, the tone of voice was a change, like just the way she spoke, like the actress absolutely killed that part. I thought it was amazing. She was so good. Like, you could really tell it wasn't her. And my favorite part with there is when she did the Loki smirk, and then Loki did the Loki smirk back at her. And it was perfect. Like, she absolutely nailed that look, and I just thought that was hilarious. It's such a good moment. And then, man, they built the suspense because Alex, you didn't mention it, but Mobius and his team found the missing Minuteman, Sasha Lane's character, who got stolen. And she's like babbling on, and I forget exactly what she was saying, but it sounded suspicious.
She said that she told her where the timekeepers are.
Yeah, but she was saying something before that as well. But either way, like that, because that was kind of interspersed throughout, like, Loki talking to the variants, that you kept going back to them. And I thought that was just a great building of tension. So I'm excited to see what that part of it kind of leads to. Like, okay, with our theory about the timekeepers, now the variant knows where the timekeepers are. What does that mean? Like, where are they? Who are they?
So thank you for bringing that up, because Lou, what you said wasn't right. But they said, I told the variant
how to find the timekeepers.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, how to find them, not where they are, how to find them. So that makes me think that, like, by destroying all these branches, or by creating all these branches, this variant is trying to lure the timekeepers out, and like that's how you find them, because they'll come out and you know,
they kind of have to now, right? This is messed up.
If they exist, they'll have to do that. So like I'm looking forward to seeing where this all goes, because the timekeeper stuff. Whew. And the only thing that could possibly beat this is the reveal of the variant, and it is a woman called Sylvie. Well, the name wasn't revealed, as Michelle told me. It was just a woman, okay, that's with the Loki horns, and this variant hates the name Loki. That's what we knew up until this point. But Michelle, could you tell everyone why we know this character's name and what it is?
Yeah. So in the credit rolls for one of, like, the foreign language versions of Disney, they listed her character name as Sylvie. So that's how we know. And then a deep dive into comics tells us that there is a Sylvie that exists in the comics, but Alex wasn't 100% sure about who this person is. So that's how deep this character is, that he didn't fully know.
Yeah. So this Sylvie is Sylvie Laufey daughter, and Sylvie is I mentioned earlier that Thor resurrected a bunch of the Asgardians. Loki did the same thing, but with the villains, and one of them was the Enchantress, and he used a teenage girl named Sylvie for Enchantress to possess this body. However, this Sylvie exists, but at the same time, the classic Enchantress named Amora also exists. So there's like two Enchantress characters in the Marvel comics. However, right now on the show, it's a little puzzling because like it's a Loki variant, but is it also Enchantress? I don't know. We're gonna see more of it, but yeah, that was the big reveal. I think everyone expected that it was gonna be like a Loki as a woman, but was there anything unexpected about it?
I'm gonna add to your theory because there are also credits that they cast a young Sylvie. So you know how you were talking about how Loki brought a teenager, or I guess in this case a young girl. That sort of kind of proves it that there's somebody cast as a young Sylvie. So we might see that part of that story. It's interesting because also. Correct me if I'm wrong, but there's a Loki comic where I think it was more of a teenage Loki that had the horns, a chipped one, like a broken one. So maybe, I don't know. This you gotta Alex explain this to me.
I will. That is coming soon. Now that the reveal has come out. Yeah, it was Journey into Mystery. There was a kid Loki.
My surprise is the stupidest thing I could possibly say. I was surprised she was blonde. That's it. I literally pictured a female Loki to look more like Loki, like darker hair. I don't know if that's grounded in literally anything. So that part surprised me. That was it. So I was like, who's this blonde lady? I don't know.
That's the part that's throwing me off because I was expecting someone that looked like Sif, or maybe the actress that played Sif herself, as like Loki. So that's why there's still a bit of intrigue in this reveal. Like I think there's still more to come when like in the next episode, especially.
Yeah, she's just not Lady Loki, but somebody else. She could entirely yeah.
And the woman who plays Sif, like she is still in the Marvel universe because she's in the new Thor movie. Like there's shots of her on set and everything. So she's still around. She exists again because she like disappeared for a while from the universe, but she's there and she exists. So
Sif is coming back like in some in whatever capacity.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
So
all right. I need to ask this question before we wrap up, but like, are there any like guest appearances that you're expecting in the next few episodes? Like WandaVision had some, and Falcon Winter Soldier had some as well. And who do you expect to see?
So we were kind of talking about how Lady Sif was just possessed by Loki. So I'm kind of expecting to see her.
I think that's a reasonable guess. I don't know if I have one straight up. A scientist. That's it. There's gonna be some scientist.
Darcy.
I mean,
yeah.
I mean, it's so hard to say because like the TVA exists in this like non-time zone, non-planetary place, like this really weird place. So you don't really expect to see anyone from the previous movies there. But since they're time jumping, like who could possibly show up, right? That's the question.
It's fair game.
Maybe like Howard Stark, because he always shows up when there's time travel afoot.
Time travel.
We always see him. So maybe I don't know, maybe something like that. I'm just trying to think of like other apocalypse level events that happen in the MCU, because in my hope they'll end up somewhere there again. So we'll be able to see people. Yeah.
Sokovia. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. That would be crazy. So like Quicksilver.
Ooh,
Let's see Boner again.
No, not him. Give me my boy Aaron Taylor Johnson. Give me him.
All right, so that was the episode. We all enjoyed it. Come back, see us next week where we'll review the next episode, obviously. If you like what you saw, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, share it with your friends, follow us on social media. We're all over the place. I'm Alex. I've been joined by Lou and Michelle, and we'll see you on the next one.
Bye.